Hello and welcome to Darren's Travels. On this channel, I talk about traveling around the world if you're a guy by yourself, and particularly if you're taking your first trip overseas, this channel will help you. Today, I'm going to talk about how to get into the clubs when you're overseas, when you're in a foreign city. So when you go out, and like I think I mentioned before, and I'll leave it in the card, how to like talk to girls overseas and all that. The easiest way to meet girls is to go out to the bars, to the lounges, to the clubs. It's pretty easy to do that. So, but when you go overseas, like to the best clubs, and the way and how you find the best clubs is by checking on Instagram, check on TikTok. And you can just kind of like, first of all, kind of look and see, what it looks like as far as like the pictures and everything. But, look at the comments and then kind of figure out like where the cool spots to go are in the city. And also you can ask the girls, like if you meet girls like online or something before you go over there, you can ask them kind of what are the, cool spots right now, essentially. And so when you get there, you'll know where to go. Now, a lot of times, like the best places in a city, it's hard to get into. You might have heard this back in the mid 2000s in Moscow. They used to have what was called face control. I mean, I guess it's all over the world, but it was popular in Moscow, where it's called face control. Essentially, in front of a club, there's no line, and essentially the bouncers just pick and choose the people that come in. And if they don't like you for whatever reason, they won't let you in. So there's no line. That happens. It was famous in Moscow back in the mid 2000s, I guess. And then it also happens in New York. It happens in London. It happens in LA. And so that's how. So, anyways, you're gonna have to want to get in basically. The way to get into the bars, there's two ways. First of all, wear a suit. If you're in a suit, you can get in anywhere. You walk up to the door, whatever. Tell them you're visiting from the U.S. And they will most likely let you in any club in there. Even if you're by yourself, they'll let you in. I've gotten in almost everywhere I've ever went in the last 8 years to try to get in a club. The only place I didn't get into was in L.A. actually, but that's neither here nor there. You just walk up in a suit and you'll most likely get in anywhere in the world if you're in a suit. I remember I was in Montreal back in 2019 and I walked up to I think the coolest club in Montreal. And I remember I walked, like there's a line to get into the club, and I was like walking to the back to try to find like where the end of the line was because I was going to stay in line or whatever. And I remember like the manager of the club came and found me and stopped me and asked me basically, how I was doing it or whatever. And I told him I was from America. I heard this was like the cool club, whatever. I just wanted to check it out. And he took me from where I was at, walked me in past the door, past cover, took me to the bartender, introduced me to one of the bartenders, and I had a great time in there. I was a little old for the club. I remember it was kind of young, like Tempe almost young, but anyways, it was fun anyway though. But again, if you're in a suit, they'll kind of think you're important, kind of, and they will let you in no matter where you are in the world. The second way to do it, and again, you can be in a suit or not, but the second way is to find girls to go into the club with you. I learned this in Vegas, actually. If you want to get into a club, just get a couple girls and then walk up to the bouncer, ask the bouncer if they can take care of you and your two friends or whatever, and you can give the bouncer like $40 basically. And most of the time, that'll get you in anywhere around the world. Again, if you're with two girls and you give the bouncer, like I said, a relative $50, something like that. I guess you could probably do it with $20, or you could probably do it with $100. But I always strive with $40. $40 in the local currency, obviously, when I'm overseas. So that's the two ways to get in: wear a suit, or to have girls come in with you, and basically grease the bouncer if you need to. If you want to get into, like I said, the best clubs in a town, because usually it's pretty hard to get into those. So anyways, those are my two tips for getting into the hottest nightclubs when you're overseas. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. And again, this is being recorded in 2024. So, but it's been the same way ever since 10 years ago. It'll probably be the same way 10 years from now. So you can always get in a club in a suit and with girls. So hope that helps. If you have any questions, again, leave them in the comments, and please like and subscribe. Thanks.